I'm Alex. I'm researcher and analyst at Barter. Barter is the largest solver on CowSwap. We also, consistently ranking among top 3 to 4 DEX routers on Ethereum by volume. We did roughly 5 billion of volume over the last month. And now we are presenting our very new product called Superposition. So Superposition is a liquidity-focused product which allows you essentially, which in a sense, turn any wallet into kind of market maker. So stablecoins seen massive adoption over the last 2 years. We have now over 300 billion of stablecoins in supply. We have more than 400 billion in stable volume on EVM chains. But still, the vast majority of stablecoins are just lying passively in user wallets, in CEXs, and there's 49 more liquidity, just idle lying in wallets rather than, any liquidity in DEXs. And it's huge constraint and actually, a huge opportunity to unlock all of this liquidity. And yeah. Another question we should ask is why NLPs are now depositing their stables into any vaults, any pools, they're looking for yield. And the bitter truth here is if I, for example, holding some USDC or maybe USDT or some other stables, I can just, passively earn yield in any stables that I trust. I have to deposit it somewhere and basically now start earning yield in some pool or maybe in some yield-bearing wrapper or another asset. I can earn yield directly in USDC lying in my wallet. And Barter Superposition is basically fix this problem. With Superposition, you can hold any stable coins that you trust and just, earning yield directly with these stables directly in your wallet. Yeah, so we introduced this concept. With Barter, you can just approve us, all stables that you wanted to provide, that you trust, and you want to earn yield with. And yeah, that's all. It's basically like an intent for liquidity provision. You don't need, to select any custom complex parameters for liquidity provision, looking for dozens of protocols, seeking for good yield. You just can, approve us tokens, select us as a pricing source, and that's all. What will we do with the stables? As a router, we receive a major order flow from different order flow sources. You can see, we receive, a huge order flow from CowSwap, there's the largest solver here, from MachiMix, from MachiMeta aggregator, from some others intent-based DEX, SwapX, BibGem, some others, and we can basically, now we settle all of this order flow using some traditional AMMs, proprietary liquidity, some other stuff. We can just, redirect all of this flow to user wallets, empowering yield directly in wallet. So yeah, here's an example. So the user just approve us, USDC and USDT, and we use this wallet as a analog of DEX liquidity, redirecting some order flow directly to his wallet. And with each swap, you earn some trading fee. So let's say you're holding 10k USDT, and you don't really care, are you holding USDT, USDC? I mean, you just don't really care about symbol, before USD or after USD. It's for you. It's all the stables is basically USD for you, until you trust them. And yeah, you can just approach two stables and we'll settle swaps using your liquidity. And as you can see, numbers are constantly growing, but only the proportion between stables can vary within your wallet. So yeah, here's an example. You're earning 0.5 to 1 BB on each swap. It's pretty competitive fees. I mean, Uniswap before provided the same one. Yeah, you can also expand this concept behind stablecoins. You can provide basically any packed pairs such as RAPVTs, just some Ethereum wrappers, maybe some tokenized assets such as gold. Yeah, even more coming on chain. For example, we already have different issues of tokenized stocks. For example, on the issues, NVIDIA on, and X stocks issue, as far as I remember, X NVIDIA or NVIDIA X. You can also create some patched positions between these assets. Yeah, and we basically turn your wallet into market maker. And why I mean, why you really care about it? We can take a look, on Solana example. Now, roughly 50% of all Solana DEX volume, is executed by proprietary market makers. As you know, this is an enormous hype over the past months, and the key here, is calculating prices off chain is much more efficient than calculating on chain. So yeah, and all of this value, is basically extracted by professional market makers. In Superposition, we can, bring this value to bring back to the end users, not to professional market makers. In Ethereum, we can see this very same trend. Intent DEXs now running much more, tighter quads, better execution rather than traditional DEX aggregators. And you can see that, on Intent DEX, DEXs, there are enormous share of private liquidity. This liquidity, is basically market makers' liquidity. Superposition, we can redirect all of this flow back to users. So yeah, we are starting from our own Superposition front end. It's basically the app where you can, just select some stables you want to provide. You want to opt in Superposition, select as, pricing provider, and that's all. You just need to, provide us token approval. We also, has a vision that this can be, yield option provided by default by any wallets. For example, let's say that you're just holding USDT and don't do anything with them, and then your wallet just send a notification, hey, you're just holding USDT and it's flying in your wallet. Why you don't just create a superposition with these stables? You will these tokens still be full accessible in your wallet. There's no lookup periods, they're fully transferable, and you can just earn some yield on top of that. Yeah. By doing this, we're also creating some flywheel actually. Because the more exclusive liquidity we will have, the more order flow we can acquire, and eventually this will be returning in higher APIs for the end user, for liquidity providers. Yeah, that's pretty it. So we believe this can be no default option for any wallet. Yeah. Thank you for attention.
This product is for already launch.
Yep, it was launched internally. We already have some, private beta version, which is accessible by invite codes. If you're interested, you can contact us, maybe on Twitter, on Telegram groups, yeah, and we can just, provide you an invite code, and you can try this by your own. So this is already live.
If I need to trust all the USDT or USDC in my wallet, or I can.
No, you can set the limits per each table. Yeah.
Please. All time means. Oh,
What do you mean?
do I need to trust forever, or I
Oh, you can also set time limits. Yeah.
times?
I mean, we can also, envision some use cases. For example, let's say you're holding USDT and you just, go to sleep, and you don't care what's happening with your stables for the next 8 hours. You can just, set the limit for the next 8 hours, and yeah, we'll use this liquidity by when you sleep.
And then are you explore some other strategy? Like because what I heard is like Bitcoin strategy where other people want to exchange these coins and be users of the gates for your to kindness of people. And happily, attention that there can be more strategies using the same pattern and you expand the market.
So you mean volatile pairs?
For example.
Yep, it can be expanded into, some volatile pairs, for example, USDC to Ethereum, but we see the perfect fit actually with stables. So at the launch, only only packed pairs will be available, but yeah, probably we'll know.
Yeah,
some
is that let's say I am a little bit more sophisticated user and I have some portfolio requirements. For example, I want to keep like at least some stables and other like I am
I see.
exposures to BTC and ETH.
I see. I mean, if you have some predetermined ratio between assets, yeah, you can build some kind of index within that. Yeah.
The world of security, so like I mean, avoid tokens, you know?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, token approved by itself, it's not something, very unsafe, because, many protocols are using it. For example, when you're swapping on CowSwap, you're basically grant a limit approval to CowSwap contract. So the main question is what contract can do with these approvals. So Superposition contract is immutable. I think it's a pretty big advantage. Yep, we calculate price of chain, but by doing this, we can actually, provide you much better pricing, generate you much more higher APY. I mean, you can't really assess. By calculating off-chain prices will be eventually better than prices that calculate on-chain. Because when you calculate price off-chain, you can use some external information, for example, Binance price, which is actually used by market makers, and you can achieve this on-chain. I mean, yeah, that's the reason why we did it a bit, trusted. But eventually, it can be fully decentralized. I mean, we can rub into some kind of ZK or maybe TEs. Yeah.
Do you understand well, like eventually, like for example, I book all my eats and I can book up tomorrow morning that end up to stay on my balance.
Yep, that's it. But you can select your own, stable basket.
Thank you.
Thanks for attention.